That's now 2 games and 1 point. You've seen Pochettino get his first draw this season, his first loss, and tomorrow, can he finally record his first win of the season against Luton Town? Now, when I saw Luton Town's 4-1 loss against Brighton, I feel like these guys had like a very rude awakening to life in the Premier League, and they looked every bit that Championship side because Brighton, they had so much fun. I mean, statistically, they had like 71% possession, 27 shots, 12 on target. Luton Town were regularly getting exposed to balls in behind down the left hand side, the right hand side, balls over the top. Estupiñán, Solly March, Matoma, they were destroying these guys down the flanks. And I felt like Luton generally showed this level of inexperience and naivety. Like they gave away a sloppy penalty. There should have been 2 penalties they conceded in that game. It wasn't only that. They were like losing out to individual battles. There was like a lack of communication and just like silly errors like the 3rd goal they conceded. But I'm saying all of this knowing the fact that we haven't won a Premier League game since May. And that was when we got a 3-1 away win against Bournemouth. And to go into the stats even more, we've won 1 game out of 14 in the Premier League. We have not seen 1 win in the past 8 home games. That's been 5 draws and 3 losses. So tomorrow, if we're somehow able to beat Luton Town, that would be our 5th win since this new year started. So it's been an absolute disgrace in like its purest essence. And even though I think that Luton Town should face some difficulties against us, let's keep things real. Their game against Burnley was postponed. They've now had nearly 2 weeks to prepare for this game. And you'd imagine that they're going to use this preparation seriously because they don't want to develop any reputation as this season's whipping boys. And to be fair with you, when I looked at the stats, Luton Town managed at least 36 entries in Brighton's final third and like 22 touches inside their box, even though they played without the ball. So that does communicate that as a team, they aren't afraid to push forward and attack. They created decent opportunities against Brighton too. And after seeing our loss against West Ham, where we dominated throughout the whole game, but we lost the game in moments. Maybe Luton watched that game, they studied how West Ham played, and maybe they might feel a little bit confident against us as we're still looking to like finalize and make this team work. So I guess after spending like nearly close to £1 billion, the pressure is naturally on us, my friends. So in today's match preview, I'm going to do things a bit differently. We'll go through the team news. I'm going to give you guys my predicted lineup, and at the end, I'll give my prediction too. So I hope you guys definitely enjoy. Hit that like button, share your thoughts and opinions and all that good stuff. And without wasting no more time, now let's start things off with this team news. And of course, we have bad news. Now, I get this unwanted information through the club's official app. There was a notification on my phone. And of course, we have picked up another injury. And this time, Mudryk is the next victim. And he won't be playing against Luton Town. Now, we don't have much information around the extent of the injury, but we have learned that he is beginning a rehabilitation of some kind. I'm hoping it's not too serious, at least like a week or 2 or something. But I think I read somewhere that over the past 12 months, we've recorded like 57 different injuries. Most of your best players aren't available, or guys are out the team unexpectedly, and it just kills momentum. So I do feel like out of all the money we're spending on signing players, let's also spend this money in reinvesting into the club to try and reduce details like this. Of course, to continue on with the team news, I'm not expecting LAVIA to be playing at all against Luton Town. Now, the news is that he's doing individual training sessions to get up to speed with Pochettino's training demands. And that makes a lot of sense. And I do feel that because he's quite young, there is no need to rush him into games now. But on top of that, my friends, you guys are seeing all the injuries right now. At least we have players returning back quite soon. It's nice to know that Armando Broja, he'll be back in a bit. But at the same time, like being back and then having match fitness, that's 2 completely different things. So let's hope that we find some players returning back in good form quite soon, my friends. And I do think for sure we have to invest in the market before the window ends in the next week. Could we sign even 2 players? Time will tell. So my friends, let's now move on to discussing the predicted lineup against Luton Town tomorrow. And to give you guys the heads up, I want us to use a 4-3-3. And I'm kind of thinking that we might use 4-3-3. Now, I know that some people are having some question marks around this recent 3 at the back system that Pochettino's using. Now, I've done a massive tactical breakdown and deep dive to really explain to you what's really going on and why this 3 at the back isn't really a 3 at the back at all to begin with. So if you guys want to see it for yourselves, you'll find a link somewhere in the video. But even though formations haven't cost us, we haven't not got results because we're using the 3 at the back system. I do feel like now that we have home advantage against a team that's newly promoted, we can afford to use an additional attacking player, because at times I have felt like Nicholas Jackson is a little bit isolated. I do feel like he doesn't always have that partner in crime, which he would have had if Nkunku didn't get a knee injury for himself. So that's the context out the way. In my predicted lineup, I'm going for a 4-3-3, and as you guys can see on screen, Sterling, Jackson, and Mudryk up front. In midfield, I'm going for Enzo on the right, Gallagher on the left-hand side, and Caicedo in the middle. And in defence, Ben, Levi, Thiago Silva, Gusto, and I'm going for Sanchez in goal, because who else is going to play in goal realistically? So let's start from the top. Statistically, eye test, anything you want to use. Nicholas Jackson has been one of our positive players in attack recently, and the stats really show that. I mean, we're seeing his impacts in terms of like shots, pressures, attacking third runs, and I do feel like we don't even have to see the stats to understand the impact he's having. But as I was saying before, he is a bit isolated at times leading our attack. And I do feel like maybe if we have an additional forward player that has a license to at least get into the books, that could give this guy, it could relieve a lot of pressure away from him and hopefully give him goal scoring opportunities to take more chances, to be fair. But I've been really impressed by Jackson, and I'm really hoping that tomorrow night he scores his first goals in the Premier League. And I feel like once he gets his first goals, I think he could go on a mini goal scoring streak, because in my head, I've envisioned Jackson getting 18 plus goals throughout the season. So let's hope he continues with that. Now, alongside him, Mudryk, Raheem Sterling. Mudryk is a little bit rusty, of course. He had no pre-season, so I'm not going to be too harsh against him due to his performance against West Ham. Hopefully he gets back a bit sooner. But on the other hand, Raheem Sterling, I think it's safe to say that Sterling has been one of our best players during the start of the season. And it seems like we're seeing a resurgent Sterling right now. I mean, statistically, he had 6 out of 12 dribbles attempted against West Ham that got pulled off. 27 sprints. I mean, his records last season was 26, 15 touches in the opposition box as well too. All of his output in terms of key passing, dribbles, all the positive play we're seeing in him right now. And he is on absolute fire. So it would be stupid to leave this guy out the team. In midfield, Enzo and Gallagher. I do feel like Gallagher's not getting enough credit for his performances. And one thing I've noticed is this little budding partnership between him and Enzo Fernandez. I think Gallagher doesn't get enough credit for his overall game. I'm really liking the fact that he's playing one touch, two touch. And I always stress this because it's I don't want my midfield to be slow on the ball, because if my midfield is slow on the ball, it means that we can't break down the opposition. So I like his understanding he's showing alongside Enzo. And we know that Connor has that goal threat. So if he can play a more attacking role in a 4-3-3, I think this guy can do things in the final third. And alongside him, for me, probably my favourite player in the team, Enzo Fernandez. Currently, nearly everything is going through him. I think against West Ham, he had 111 passes attempted, 96 pulled off. But Enzo Fernandez doesn't just stat pads in terms of possession. He plays the forward pass. He plays the line-breaking pass, the pass over the top to try and find the runs in behind of a Sterling or Nico Jackson. He makes things happen. And one thing I'm absolutely loving is how Enzo is receiving passes from his teammates in behind the opposition's midfield lines, because he is so smart and intelligent at just finding these pockets of space. His touch, his control, his footwork, he makes a lot of things happen. And I was really disappointed for him that he didn't get his first Premier League goal by scoring that penalty against West Ham. But I think it's coming. If he continues playing the way he is, he doesn't have to force it. I think naturally these moments will come to him. And I've been very impressed by his performance. And I'm sure you guys are liking what you're seeing on screen too. And obviously Caicedo in the base. Now, I think Caicedo will play a lot of games in this position. When we saw his first debut against West Ham, he was the deepest midfield player. But in my tactics breakdown, I was a bit surprised by the distances between Caicedo and Gallagher and Enzo Fernandez. I felt like they were too big. and it was forcing us to play balls wide. But again, I keep stressing this, Caicedo was rusty. So I'm not worried about this guy's performance or price tag whatsoever, because all the things Caicedo was good at, he showed rust in against West Ham. But having him in the base, that should give us more like attacking license to push forward a bit more. And once he understands his teammates and plays a little bit more, I think this guy naturally should live up to the price tag, to be fair with you. So to end things in defence, I mean, Gusto naturally is going to start. I mean, I don't see Disasi playing as a right back. And I thought that Gusto was really good against West Ham. Like, he really shut down Benrahma. And just the overlaps in behind, his link up, how he can invert in midfield and do the overlap out wide. Yeah, this guy's a serious football player. I like that. And obviously in defence, I'm looking at Cole and Thiago Silva to partner him. I think maybe a bit of experience in the back line will help. I think Disasi, of course, new signing, new to life in the Premier League. He showed a bit of inexperience. I felt like as the game went on, Antonio had the advantage against him. But I think that Thiago Silva, he's been there, he's done that. And I think because getting 3 points is stupidly important for tomorrow, I need one of my big boys playing in defence. And I think, and Levi Cole, that's good experience to have alongside him, even though Cole plays above his age. But I'm really interested to see that partnership between him and Caicedo that we've all seen these guys produce together at Brighton last season. And I just think that with how Pochettino encourages this forward-thinking type of positive football, having a Cole defender who's like in the same bracket as your Akes and your Gavadios, like, this guy gives you new dimension to break teams down with, because he can even push further up, and Pochettino encourages that. So if we're going to do an overload on the left-hand side, Levi Cole will basically move into midfield to help with things, and the guy has the ability and the technique to make it work. So that doesn't really bother me. And then Ben, I think Ben definitely starts. I think he's been good. I know he's been getting a lot of stick that I'm not really agreeing with. I think that people are taking out their frustrations on him in the wrong way, because maybe they want to see like wingers playing further forward. But just because Ben has been doing this role for Pochettino doesn't mean that he's been weakening the team. So I'm not agree with those types of discussions whatsoever. And again, he's like a leader. Like, he's one of our new leaders. He's got the vice captaincy role. So we need to have leaders on the field alongside these young guys. So surely we have to get goals against them. Like, it's been coming, no? Like, I'm predicting 4-0 tomorrow. I think playing at home against Luton Town, I think the players will be really annoyed by how they lost the game against West Ham, and they feel like, we really dominated, like replayed really well, but we let ourselves down because we didn't manage those important match details. And like, if you want to do anything in this league, the details are the most important things. So I think these guys will be hurting a little bit. They want to come back. I'm thinking goals for Nico Jackson. I see Conor Gallagher scoring. I see Raheem Sterling scoring, and maybe a goal from a set piece. Ideally, maybe from like a Cole or Thiago Silva. So my friends, that is my prediction, preview, predicted lineup all out the way. Share your thoughts and opinions. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'm Nini FC. This is BlueLionsTV. So cool.